What's going on, guys? This is Andy. Welcome back to Painfully Honest Advice. In today's video, this is one of my favorite topics. We are going to talk about how to increase your credit score if you have no credit or if you have very low credit, anywhere between 350 or 400 or zero, and how to go about getting a perfect credit score. I'm going to share with you guys in regards to how credit works, some tips and tricks, and some strategies in regards to what are the best ways to increase your score from zero to a perfect credit score. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. If you guys are new to the channel, if you don't mind hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel, that would really be appreciated. My goal for this channel is to give you guys transparent and honest advice in regards to making more money or giving you financial advice around topics like this as far as increasing your credit score. So let's go ahead and I'm going to jump into it. I do want to explain to you guys how credit works, and then I will share some advice in regards to different options that you can use, and you can immediately use to increase your credit. So the advice that I'm going to be sharing with you guys in this video, this is exactly what I have done. So this is actual, real, honest advice in regards to increasing your credit score. Now, with this advice, I'll tell you guys, within 45 days, you should see a jump in your credit anywhere between 100 to 200 points. In my case, when I was starting out in building my credit, I seen about 120 point increase in my credit. And as you guys can see here, my current credit score is 826. So this is a beginner's guide to establishing credit, or if your credit is really low and you want to give it a boost, this is a really good guide for you to follow as well. So when I say getting a perfect credit score, what do I mean? A perfect credit score would be anything above an 800. Now, the way credit works is credit can be ranked anywhere between 300 points and 850 points. All right, the breakdown I'll show you guys in this chart here. This is from Experian, one of the credit bureaus. Now, the way they rank the credit in this chart is that anywhere between 300 and 579 would be a very poor credit. From there, 580 to 669 would be fair credit, and 670 to 739 would be good credit, 740 to 799 would be very good credit, and anything above 800 to the maximum 850 would be exceptional or perfect credit. Now, why would you want perfect credit? Perfect credit score will help you get the best rates when you're looking to buy a new house, when you're looking to get your first car, also when you're looking to rent. Everybody looks at credit, and with a perfect credit score, you'll never get denied basically for anything. If you want to own your own business, if you want to get into real estate investments, I can tell you guys, with having a perfect credit score, you won't get denied. Ultimately, in the long term, it is going to save you money, whatever you're looking to do, because you are going to get the best rates. You are going to have the most leverage to go back to whoever you're borrowing money from to be like, hey, my credit score is exceptional and I'm looking to get the best rates, or I'm going to go shop it and go somewhere else. Now, there are two different methods that I would encourage you to use, and use them both to increase your credit the fastest way. But before I get into that, I do want to share with you guys the different credit bureaus and in regards to how credit works, so I can explain credit a little bit further, and so you guys know, once you do have credit established, what are some of the things that these credit bureaus look for. Now, the first one is Experian, the second one is TransUnion, and the third one is Equifax. These are the three main credit bureaus that any company that you're looking to borrow money from will look at to determine your credit worthiness. Now, as I shared with you guys, my credit score currently is 826. Now, I did not start off there. My credit score was under 450 when I started off. So I want to share with you guys what are some of the different things that all three of these credit bureaus look at. Now, the first thing that the credit bureaus look for is longevity with your credit. So the longer that you have credit established, the better it is for your credit. Now, if you have not established credit, I would encourage you to do so immediately, because the quicker that you establish credit, the quicker it will start helping you and increasing. Now, the second thing that the credit bureaus look for is consistency. There's two ways that they look for consistency. Consistency in using and borrowing from your credit, and secondly, and more importantly, consistency in paying back on time. When you have a credit payment due, make sure to pay it back every month on time. Now, the third thing is the variety of credit. So for credit, if you only have credit cards and you don't have any other variety of credit, like a car loan, maybe a house payment, you want to have different types of credit that will actually help with the credit algorithm. The fourth is utilization. What I mean by utilization is that you want to make sure that you are borrowing from your credit, but you're not utilizing it over 10%. The best piece of advice I can tell you guys is whatever you're using on your credit, make sure to pay it back 100% month over month, because you don't want to cause yourself to go into debt, but you do need to utilize credit to be able to establish credit. The rule of thumb around this is do not use over 10%. And the final and fifth piece would be credit inquiries. The more credit inquiries that you have on your credit report within a 2-year time frame, the lower your credit score will go based on the amount of credit inquiries you have within 2 years. But this is a short-term loss. Basically, you will see a decline in your credit score short term, but in the long term, you will see that your credit will get better and better because these credit inquiries will fall off. And as long as you're doing the other things, paying on time, utilizing your credit, and focusing on all the other things, your credit score will just rise over time. Now guys, I would encourage you to follow both of these methods that I'm about to share with you guys, because if you follow both of them, you will see a credit jump within 45 days, anywhere between 100 to 200 points. The first method that I'm going to share with you guys in regards to getting and establishing credit is by getting a secured credit card. A secured credit card is probably the easiest and simplest way to start building credit. What is a secured credit card? A secured credit card is something that you put down a deposit with a financial institution that you're getting the card from, and based on what you put down as the deposit, they will give you a credit limit to borrow against that deposit. Now, with a secured credit card, that deposit can start anywhere from $100 to $2,000. Some of the different companies that I recommend and the best options that I recommend to get a secured credit card is Discover, Capital One, or Wells Fargo. Now, all three of these companies do offer a secured credit card, and I would recommend one of these three companies. Now, let me show you guys real quick, because I started with all three of these companies and I actually got all three of these cards within a 6-month period, and I put down a deposit anywhere between $250 to $500 with each of these. But let me go ahead and grab that and show you guys real quick. Alright guys, I should have been more prepared for this, but anyways, I had to dig out through my cards and I found all three of them. Now these cards at this point are unsecured, but when I started, I got all three of these secured credit cards to go ahead and start building credit. So as you guys can tell here, the Capital One is the first one at the top, the Wells Fargo is the second card, and the Discover is the third card. I'm trying to hide the bars, so, for safety purposes. But as you guys can tell, that I have all three of these cards, and this is how I started with establishing credit. Now, credit does take some time to establish, but with getting a secured card, you're going to see a jump within 45 days. And why I say 45 days is because soon as you get one of these secured cards, the credit bureaus report to the three different credit agencies every 30 days. So soon as you get one of these established, you will see that it will increase your credit score right away. Now guys, with a secured credit card and any one of these three, as long as you are paying on time, the credit card will become unsecured. So in my case, all three of these cards, I still have them, but I got my deposit back because I was making payments on time every month, and it took about 12 months to get my deposit that I gave to secure the card and get the card to get that back. Now, the second method that you can use to increase your credit score and on your way to getting a perfect credit score is by becoming an authorized user, or another way to say it is piggybacking. Basically, what you're doing is that you are becoming an authorized user on a family or friend's card, and what that is going to do is it's going to transfer over all their credit history that they've built for, let's just say, 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, however long they've had their card, and it's going to transfer over to you. And that's going to give you a crazy jump in your credit. To become an authorized user, the person does have to add you to their card. So they would have to reach out to their financial institution or go online through the online network on that card and add you as an authorized user. Some of the things that I would encourage you guys to do is to reach out to a close friend or a family member that really does trust you, that you already have a relationship with, that is not afraid to add you as an authorized user. Alright guys, so to finish off the video, I want to just share with you guys some simple tips and tricks that I used along the way to get myself to that perfect credit score. So the first and foremost is use both of these strategies. Use them both together. So become an authorized user. If you can become an authorized user on more than one card, that will be even more beneficial. And get yourself a secured card. I would encourage, if you can get all three of them right away, go ahead and get all three secured credit cards right away. And like I said, within 45 days, if you use both of these strategies, you're going to see your credit score increase over 100 points. So I would encourage you first and foremost to use both of these methods to establish your credit. Secondly, and this kind of goes back with the first one, is start right away. ASAP. I mean, start right now. If you're not using one or two of these methods, start using both of them immediately. And some of the other tips, guys, is that make sure you only borrow what you can afford. You do not want to go in the opposite direction and put yourself in debt. And I always would recommend borrow whatever you can afford and you can pay back at the end of the month. So if you're buying something, you want to purchase it on a credit card so it builds you credit, go ahead and put it on there, but just make sure you have that money in your account to pay back at the end of the month when you get the statement. Additionally, stay consistent. Making sure to stay consistent with using the card and paying back the card on time. That is one of the biggest things that will impact your credit. Now, the credit bureaus usually give you a 30-day grace period if you've missed a payment, but I would encourage you to set up automatic payment on every single credit card that you have so you never miss a payment. And lastly, guys, this is a big one, is you never want to close a credit card. As you establish credit and as you have additional credit cards that you get throughout your lifetime, whatever's the first credit card that you got, that's when your credit history started. And if you close that card down the road, that credit history that you had established is going to disappear. So what I always encourage you to do is, if you're not going to use that card, as soon as you get it, just cut it up and toss it out if you don't want to use it. But do not ever close that card, because if you close that card, that credit period for that length of credit history that you established with that card is going to disappear if you close that card. So do not ever close a card. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you have any questions, I encourage you to comment down below and I'll try to answer whatever I can. And I encourage you guys to use both of these methods to increase your credit. You will increase your credit over the short term and be on your way to a perfect credit score. Make sure, if you guys haven't already, to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. They're both right down below. And thank you guys, and I will see you guys at the next one.